I never thought I would stoop this low into the term lost episodes. Honestly, I thought it was all a fad, until one airing of an episode changed how I looked at kids' shows. Before I explain the events, let me explain. There was a Czechoslovakian kids' show named Slniec. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but it was released from 1979 to 1989. It focused on the character Mr. Nosy Blankets, a curiously, god-awfully designed character who focused on teaching the kids Czechoslovakia about normally average kids' things. Media is spread everywhere, including a character analysis of Mr. Nosy, which was released by Blame It on Jorge. But I digress. I was a college student in a university who went on a field trip with some other students to visit Czech, which was a glorious trip that I'll never forget. Me, Chaz, who was a football player, and Charlie, who was a tech whiz, were assigned hotel rooms of our own, since at the time the professor wanted a room to himself for grading. We turned on the TV and scrolled through the only channels they had required in the hotel room, until we found one called Dvojka. There was an episode of Duel that was ending, so the three of us watched the ending together. After what felt like a couple of hours, a black screen showed a message in Czech. When translated, it said, "Coming up next, Slniec." We all looked at each other. "Okay, what's this?" Chaz chuckled. "Seriously?" Charlie said, a bit annoyed. "Let's just watch, I guess," I said with an annoyed sigh. The screen stays black for a bit, before a loud bang was heard before the host appeared in a corner of the screen. A sunflower puppet named Sunny. "Hello, children. Nosy isn't doing good, so he'll try teaching you a very important subject." She spoke, her tone sounding pretty sad. "Wait, isn't the name of the show the same as the host?" I asked. Charlie translated it. "Close. It's Sunshine." Chaz and I looked puzzled, before we noticed the camera switching to an ill Nosy in a darkened room, with a cartoony thermometer in his mouth. "Hello, kids," he said hoarsely. "I want to know why I'm suddenly sick. That's why I've brought this lovely doctor over to help out." A doctor in a white coat comes out, silently waving at the screen before he says to Nosy, "You've got the allergies, which are common for most kids and someone like you." A loud honking noise blasted out of nowhere. Chaz flew back a bit, almost knocking a lamp, and Charlie smacked his head on the back of the hotel bed. I jolted a bit. We all looked at each other silently. This seems like a normal kids' show, I guess. Surely nothing dark happens. That was when another honking sound emerged. It was a sneeze. And it caused Chaz to let out a "Yeah!" before turning around swiftly. "Jeez, if he sneezes..." Me and Charlie shushed him. "Dude, there's people sleeping," Charlie whisper yelled. Chaz covered his mouth before he said in a whisper yell that if he sneezes one more time, I'll... Charlie paused and they both looked at the screen. They all turned pale. And I noticed it too. what I saw on the TV was absolutely horrifying. It was a flashback, but it was heavily distorted. The music seems off, and there were weird buzzing sounds as it flipped back and forth. The doctor asks again and again if he can hear him screaming. Visually, it looked as if Nosy was having a seizure, a puddle of white foam escaping his lips as he violently thrashes, until he falls limp. And it's at this point that the audio cuts off as the doctor tries to use CPR, but at this point, he's too far gone. It ends with a mournful message from Sonny. So you see, kids, even when we know we're invincible, we aren't going to make it. There's always something pulling us against, which is why medicine is becoming more and more of a thing of the past. Ask your parents about sickness. Goodbye. The screen then fades as the next program comes on. We both reported the issue to the professor, who asked the hotel staff about it, which launched an investigation, with not only the cable box company, but the creators themselves. And to make a long story short, we haven't heard a response in about 4 months. Although Charlie has had a few nightmares about that puppet, and Chaz often has depressive states. It hasn't changed us terribly too much. We both did some digging later on and recovered some footage, but none of the pictures were taken because at the time, our phones were charging. Just know that media can be found. You just gotta dig deeper. Way deeper.